Some Good Tea, where we drink some tea and we share some tea. I'm Katie Bresnahan, your host, and today I'm going to be sharing some tea with my friend Juan. Want to say hi?
Hi.
The tea that we are sharing right now is an iced tea. It's the first iced tea that I've done on the show because it was kind of like almost summer today.
Well, it's not cold.
No,
it also
hasn't
not warm.
snowed. It hasn't snowed in like 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer.
A little bit longer.
Yeah. So that's summer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like we could have some iced tea. This is an iced tea by Tazo, and it's called Iced Passion, and I love it. It's
not really
delicious.
a flavor.
No, not really, but I love this tea. I absolutely love it. Our topic today is going to be a mystery because you wanted to be surprised. But as per usual, we have 20 questions possible. We're going to roll the dice and take turns answering the question. If we get a repeat, we just re-roll the dice.
That makes sense.
You want to roll the dice first?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I got a 6.
6. Ooh. This is kind of a funky. So all of these questions are kind of funky.
Okay.
Some of them are more statements than questions. This is kind of a statement to get you thinking, and then I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
So I want you to consider the water cycle.
Jeez. And
the water in your body, in your cells, once might have been part of the Amazon rainforest, or in the lungs of a brontosaurus, or frozen in a glacier, and then it melted, and now it's part of a climate change that your great-great-great-great-grandparents helped to start. What are your thoughts about the water in your body?
0 thoughts, honestly.
Okay.
Because I've never considered it, and I don't think I'll ever reconsider it.
It's kind of weird.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't have much to say on that. I mean, other than like maybe the water that I've drunk comes from, my ancestral urinations.
It's possible, right? Right? Because the water cycle is like it evaporates, and then it becomes clouds, and then it rains somewhere, and then it gets in the ground or in the ocean, and then just kind of like...
And it cycles through.
Through.
I was not expecting a scientific.
This could become anything. This is going to be a weird one.
That's a weird one. Yeah, no, I really don't have much I don't have much input on that one. It's just more of a...
That's okay. Maybe it'll keep you up at night.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Probably not.
Other things that keep me up at night.
Fair. That's fair. We don't need to make your life more complicated than you've already made it for yourself.
Oh, valid point.
You're welcome.
Valid point.
You're welcome. All right. Quick, sweet, to the point.
I told you my answers are going to probably be short and direct.
Hey, that's okay. I like it. I will roll this dice. Man, we're doing bad.
I know.
Low numbers, man. You're bad luck for my dice. Oh my gosh. I was literally thinking about this the other day. Okay. And I wrote it down specifically. I was like, man, I need to do an episode with some of these crazy, weird thoughts that I have.
So is that why we're rolling low numbers?
Maybe.
Satisfy
this inner, I don't know. I don't think I have that power of the dice. You've seen how I play. Okay, so this is for me, but you can also put your input in. Have you ever thought about how ants are like super, super, super small? And sometimes you don't even notice like an ant like going along its little way. Mm-hmm. And now think about like the universe. Okay. You. Okay. You compared to the universe is even smaller than the ant.
Okay. What are my thoughts on that?
Yeah. And this question came into my mind because I was at work, and every spring we have a problem
with ants.
It's not like tons and tons of ants, but in the break room, I don't know how they get there. We've looked all over the place, but there's a corner, not by the sink, not by the fridge, not by the kitchen, but like corner by its lonesome self. There'll be an ant in that corner, guarantee you, every day in the spring. and I was like eating my lunch and I saw the ant and I was just like, how weird must it be to be an ant? You just like live in your little
lone ant.
You live in your little like ant hole, and then you get sent off into the world to go find food, and then all of a sudden you emerge into this huge space, and there's huge things everywhere. Do you even notice? What would life be like if we were ants?
You know, that's the funny thing. If we were living in a society like ants do,
yeah.
First off, we would be in a completely different society.
It would be a crazy world.
Yeah, everyone would have a role to do.
That's true.
Everyone would know
and
their
they would do their job.
Exactly.
They would do their job.
No one would be slacking.
But nobody would be unemployed. And if you're unemployed, you probably got eaten by another ant. I don't know.
Or
I learned some weird facts about ants the other day.
Squished.
Or get squished by something bigger than you.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'll contemplate like your place in the universe, but I've never thought about like your size in the universe and how like itty bitty you actually are compared to like the known universe. Who knows what else is out there?
Speaking of size.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I had a teacher that tied just your normal string.
Like a string, yeah.
Okay, from one end of the class to the other end of the class.
Okay.
And in that string, he tied a knot.
Okay.
Just a single
in a string.
Knot on a string.
Like a sewing thread string?
Like a sewing
oh my gosh, okay,
string.
That's very small.
So I just thought of that particular memory.
Yeah.
And my size in that very small, like you can't even, you
can't see it because it's so tiny and across the whole room.
Mm-hmm. And so seeing that comparison of size, it makes like, for me, it's, I feel very insignificant. Like what is
what
me?
Is that even?
Yeah. What can I do?
Yeah.
There's nothing.
This little blip.
In comparison to everything else in the world.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, the universe.
The universe even.
Yeah. It's like I'm not like even a blip in the radar.
The sun, the sun is so much bigger than our planet. Like mind-bogglingly bigger than our planet. And even just thinking about our planet, it is so big. It's so big. Like what are we?
We're nothing.
We're so small. We're so small. Dude,
we're squishy.
These are the thoughts I think when I see an ant crawling across the floor.
Funny. In that, I'll save that comment for a future anime.
Okay. Yeah. We should do one. I've been thinking about one, and you would be a good one to talk about anime with.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good. But that's not what we're talking about.
No. Talking about tea and
it's
my turn.
Whatever this topic is.
Yeah, whatever this next one's
roll.
Gonna be. It's wow, we are going low number 7.
What did you get? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're just.
This actually ties in really well because we were just talking about how like that string, like you felt when you saw that and you think about that, you felt like really small and like what can we even do? We're a teensy little blip.
In the not even a blip.
No, not even a second thought in the scheme of the universe, like so small, right? In that context, this next question, wow, what an episode. It's commonly held among a lot of people that one person can have a really big impact on the world at large and the people around you and history and that kind of thing. And we have a lot of historical figures that we can look back and be like, look how much this person influenced this for good or bad or whatever. But plenty of like famous people. It didn't even have to be like a scientist. You could just be very, very well known in your field. However, the reverse is also true. A lot of people feel like you as an individual or people as an individual really don't have much of an impact at all. And like the string analogy that your teacher had, or the ant, that you're not even a blip, that you're just kind of like and gone, right? So how do you feel about your life? What kind of impact do you hope that you're having or that you worry that you're having? if you're having an impact at all.
Oh wow. I feel like we can go super deep into this topic.
This is why I love these conversations with people.
So I find this one interesting. The reason for that is because it depends on the perspective. If you're talking about just yourself,
yeah,
nothing else, yeah, you're not even a blip in the radar. However, we're not alone. I mean, you and I are clearly in this room, so
what?
I'm not alone.
There's another person. Yeah.
Don't worry, Katie. It's just some voice in your head.
I knew it. I knew it.
So my opinion on this is that for me, I always try to do what's right, what I envision to be right.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to impact, one can never know if it's either good or bad.
Yeah.
Until time passes.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I really, really hope is actually influencing my my posterity, my future mini me's, my kids and my grandkids, people, and if family. Able, my great grandkids and so forth. The thing that I want, that I am striving for, is proving to them that they can do anything that they put their minds to. And so I know I've come, my parents are from Mexico, and they crossed over to the States, however method they chose.
Yep. This is a safe place for you and your parents.
And so they started out with essentially nothing.
Yeah.
And so I'm basically one of those individuals that have started out with nothing. And I mean, I still don't think I have anything other than my family.
Maybe just a teensy bit more than what they had, like it's stepwise.
You're right. But when I'm comparing to my friends, I always felt like I was the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
But after reading all of what I have done, I was equal, or in some aspects better than they were in certain areas.
Wow.
And so one of the things that easily pops into my mind is high school during our senior night award ceremony, or whatever that was, where we basically figure out who got all the local scholarships. And
that's cool. Kind of like a recognition ceremony.
Like that's what it was.
But we're going to recognize your hard work as like a school. That's cool. That's nice.
And so I remember at the end of the night, when I got home, I took a picture of all the stuff that I received, all the recognitions, all the scholarships. It's mostly because my mom wanted it. It's not because I wanted it.
Good job, Mom. Moms make us do the best things. Right? Good job.
And so there's a picture of me with all the different awards that I received. And
cool.
comparison's not really a good thing to do.
Not always healthy.
But just stating what I've been able to receive, I beat out all my friends.
Wow.
And my friends, they're awesome. I look up to my friends every single day. I mean, my best friend, he's man, it's been years since I've known what he's done. As in, like, he received his undergrad in biomedical.
Oh wow!
So he was going to become I believe a biomedical engineer, but right now he's actually managing a retail store. And he's doing a phenomenal job, to the point where they're actually starting to pop up in areas of the western states.
Oh dang!
And so he's tasked to train new store owners.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
And so I look up to what he's doing, and it's amazing. And then I've got another friend of mine. He's oh my gosh, he's gonna kill me if I mention this.
He'll probably never listen. I don't know if we have any listeners, but for those of you who are listening, don't tell Juan's friend.
We called him Roids. Just because in high school,
Oh my
he
word.
would self-proclaim himself as dumb as a brick, but you know.
Oh, buddy.
But we would claim him as Captain America because he was just.
Was he jacked?
He was jacked.
Dang, buddy. Dang.
But now he's into nursing. He's into the healthcare industry.
I love that.
And he's one of the smartest guys that I know. When he went to college, he was getting A's and B's. He wasn't getting anything below that.
Oh.
In high school, he was like the C average, you know, just enough to get by.
Yeah,
you know?
C's good degrees,
and
you
just
know.
seeing him turn his life around and all that.
That's cool. Good for him. What an awesome field to go into.
I know, right? I mean, such a noble profession, in my opinion.
Thankless, I can tell you that much.
But the thing is that the impact that's had on me.
Yeah.
Now I've been pursuing an education. I mean, it's taken me longer than a decade to get a bachelor's degree, and the reason for why it is hard.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that make it hard.
But I think it's I think we're the individuals that make it hard.
It's possible, yeah.
Because the way that I grew up, my parents sacrificed a lot to be able to work.
Yeah.
So they sacrificed family time. They sacrificed opportunities. There were things that we couldn't do financially because they were still working.
Yeah, we work.
And so I kind of grew up in that mentality of like you've got to go work.
You go work.
You know, work is above everything else.
Whatever you do, work.
Yep. And so when I got married, the first thing that was in my thought, while I was going to school, mind you, was get a job.
Oh, buddy.
You now have to provide.
You poor kid, that's a lot of pressure.
I know, but
that's
it's like
so much pressure.
It's something that
ingrained.
It was just ingrained.
Yeah.
It's just the way that my family grew
culture.
Up. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I sacrificed my grades during the semester to make sure my work was on top of things.
That's hard.
And it got to the point where work was everything.
Yeah.
Like it interfered with my own family life.
Even family.
And education and friends.
Yeah.
It impacted so many things. And I don't know, if it wasn't for COVID.
Good old COVID.
Yay!
You know, there's a lot of bad things that happened because of COVID and are still happening because of COVID. But I think for some of us, there were opportunities that came up and eye-opening things that happened that for individual lives could be really helpful. And that does not downplay any lives that were lost or any of the negative that have happened. But I also feel like there were a lot of things that happened during COVID and because of how it affected society that was actually really good for me.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, same. And for me, it opened up my eyes.
Yeah, I think it did for a lot of parents.
Yeah. That
your nose was to the grindstone. A lot of it, I think, was like you were in survival mode. I know I was in survival mode, and you kind of get in the mindset of like, I gotta do this to get that, and this to get this, and you get stuck in that mindset so easily. And it's so, especially with work, when you're providing for your family, it's really easy to get into the justification of like, well, I'm doing this for you.
Yep.
And like, yes, but where's the balance? And sometimes it takes a freaking worldwide pandemic to make a stop.
Yeah.
To make us stop and look around.
And that's what happened.
That's cool.
So I woke up a couple years ago, basically in 2021.
Okay.
Where I didn't know who my kids were. I have 3 children.
His kids are literally the cutest. I love his kids so much, guys. I don't typically like kids. I have a tough time with their energy level and their sticky hands. I love Juan's kids.
They're spawns of Satan. I love my kids.
They're so cute. They're so funny.
Yeah, no, it got to the point where I didn't know my oldest. Like, I didn't know what he was into.
Oh, that's rough, man.
And that, like, pissed me off.
I mean, yeah, right.
And so, like,
it's like, what was I doing? What have I been doing with my life?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then within that week, I quit my job.
Oh, shut up! That was when you quit your job. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Dang.
That's when I put in my 2 months notice.
Yeah, I'm at that point too. Now it's a 2 months notice. It's so awkward. It's like you're in a relationship with someone and you're like, I'm gonna break up with you, but I'm gonna stick around for a couple months. Are you good with that? Like, it's awkward. And I get like in certain professions that it's important because they have to have time to
be able to replace and to train at the same
people.
time, you know.
But oh gosh, it can be the most awkward situation.
Yeah, it was. And so
oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was when that happened. Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so awesome for you to recognize that though, and to do something so, like, that's hard and scary to be like, I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna make a huge change. That's scary.
It wasn't scary.
Oh,
That's that's probably the scary part, actually, that it wasn't scary.
I think that
so
as a testament to your character as a father,
though. We were basically talked to the wife after I quit.
Oh no! Okay. You didn't tell her?
No, it was a spur of the moment thing.
Okay, like, so maybe if this happens in the future, you should bring it up
definitely
first
to
the spouse.
Oh, speaking of which, I am also leaving my current job for a new job. And so,
have you talked to her about
yes,
it?
I did.
Okay.
This was a couple months 3-month conversation. Okay. And so, but anyway, so I am grateful for that opportunity to actually leave that job.
Yeah.
Because now my legacy isn't, it was just some dude that was just living in my house that I have no idea who was.
And he got money for us, and he
like
worked and worked and worked. Hopefully he provided stuff, but I never met him. He was never there.
He was never there.
And he worked and worked and worked and then died.
And so I didn't want that at all.
I mean, yeah, when you think about it that way, who does? You know, like, who, especially for your kids, like your immediate family, do you want your memories and their memories to be of you
not there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's so I'm grateful that COVID
woke you up
for personal selfish reasons.
Oh, I don't know if it's 100% selfish, but yeah, I get that.
I am glad that it woke me up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have started rebuilding my aspirations. I mean, I've always wanted to do something to help individuals, and now I'm actually in pursuit of building my own personal business to actually help individuals start their own businesses. And I'm not going to go into super details.
That's okay. That's okay.
But essentially, it's combining all of my skills that I've developed over the years and just be able to lay it out on the table for individuals to go in and not be afraid. And so that's anyways, that's what's going to happen in the future. But I want to be able to help people. That's always been my goal. In life, and I know by creating my own business, I'm able to pursue that desire. And so when it comes to like influencing and other people and all that, I know I'll never figure out what impact I'll have on people, positive or negative, other than them telling me directly.
If they tell you like, hey man, but I think that's actually a good perspective to have, because I think it's fairly rare that we get that kind of deep feedback from someone, because like if you've done something really impactful in someone's life, it's usually not a small thing, and we rarely have that person come back months later, sometimes years later, to be like, hey, this was really impactful. And I don't think you're narcissistic enough to be like, man, I changed the world today because of this. Like,
I think an alter ego of mine will.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, I'm certainly not the type of person that looks at my day-to-day activities, and even in my career or my education or with the people that I interact with, and think to myself like, I am changing the world. I'm helping humanity as a whole. Like, we just don't look at life that way, I think. But it sounds like, though, that you believe in our ability to impact.
Yeah, I believe that it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
Because, well, let's take my work for an example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was honestly a normal person wouldn't have survived it. You had to be crazy. I mean, in fact, that's probably one of the requirements to get hired. You had to be crazy.
That's fair. I feel that way about my profession as well.
And so, like, even if you are in a negative environment, so to speak, you don't know it's a negative or even a toxic work environment until you actually leave.
That's really common. Yeah, at least from my experience. Like, usually, if you're leaving because of negative stuff or toxic stuff, it's not a healthy work environment. It's affecting your like happiness, or heaven forbid, making you depressed or that type of thing. If you're leaving, you've usually recognized like this isn't good. But I think, especially in my experience, you never realize how bad it is until you're out of it. And then you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I didn't realize that was so bad.
Even the negative impacts can result in positive.
Yeah. I definitely feel that in my own life. Gosh. And you thought all your answers were gonna be short.
That one got me.
That was a good one.
That one really got me.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a little bit more time. Let's see what I end up with here. We finally got a double digit.
What is it?
It's a 15. What the heck is question 15?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. This is kind of funny, especially with how everything else has been about like big things, little things.
Okay.
The question is, I want you to tell me, and this is for me, but also you can answer. I want you to tell me about a time when you were in a really big group of people or a crowd, either at an event or elsewhere, but you felt known, connected, and important, even though you were in this huge crowd of people.
That you felt known?
Known, connected, and important. I know. Isn't this just the best? I have so much fun with this. I've had a couple of times when this has happened. I'll probably talk about one of the ones. It actually kind of caught me by surprise. I was at a weekend training, essentially. So when I was in my graduate studies, I was also working with a long distance hybrid program at the same time. So I would do studies at home, and there were lectures online and tests, so much stuff. And it was great. I had chosen to do it. And then every about 2 to 3 months, you would then go in person and spend a weekend and have a lot of in-person lectures, hands-on, which was awesome. And also there were tests, lots of tests. That was really stressful. But it was absolutely wonderful program. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I love those people. And it was huge, right? This is a university, huge. Hundreds of people would be in these lectures at a time. And you don't really know your class super well because everybody's from all across the country. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit different than a typical college environment where some people, and you can kind of get to know each other throughout the semester. I did make some acquaintances and things like that by the end, but I didn't know a lot of people, and it was this huge group at this huge university that I wasn't really going to for anything else. And there was actually like the ending night thing. They have a whole like seminar banquet kind of situation, and some of the professors talk, and you just kind of like have food and have a nice time, and then you're like, hey, bye, we'll see you again next year to take more exams and stuff. So it was really unexpected that I felt the way that I did, because it wasn't the setting that you're like, and we're gonna come and like connect with humans. Like, that's not really what I was there for. But by the end of that training, I had learned, honestly, what I felt like was some really life-changing things and career-shaping things for me. And I was surrounded by people who all felt the same way about their profession and the things that they were learning. And it was just like, it was so hopeful for the future. And the whole program was, it was very vigorous, but done so well. Like, I just felt like so connected to these people and these classmates that I had. And even the ones that I like didn't really know on a personal level. Like, I was just one of the little fish, at this big school. But it was just so, I just loved the feeling of that unity of purpose, and that unity that we gained in learning the skills that we had obtained, that we were going to take out into the world and have an influence and all that. But just, it was cool. It was really cool. That's not something I'd really experienced in the academic world before. But yeah, I just felt really united with these people, with our shared education, our shared passion that we were going to go take out into the world. It was great. It was really awesome. It was really, really awesome. It was, despite the rigorous testing, it was very, very positive experience. I did love it very much.
Oh, that's funny. I feel like people tend to bond more when they're in
stressful situations.
High stressful situations.
Yeah. Yeah. I was more stressed. So I was finishing that course at the same time I was finishing my overall education. And so I was sitting for boards. I had already sat for boards. And that it's an 8-hour, on average, an 8-hour exam. You get like a couple 15-minute breaks to pee. Like,
oh, I would not have survived.
Like, to say that I felt dead afterwards is putting it lightly. Like, I've never felt so drained by anything in my entire life. And like, you spend your entire undergrad, graduate education studying for boards. Like, everybody will always bring it up at some point and be like, this might be a board question. I'm like, stop it. Studying for boards, right? So I had already sat for boards, and I had this practical exam and then a written exam for this other distance class that I was doing to get certified. And I was more stressed about that. It was so hard. It was so hard. I was so scared. But man, I'm glad it was such a positive environment. But yeah, that's to give you an idea of how stressful it was. It was very stressful. So yeah, I don't know. I just, at the end, was sitting in this room, this huge banquet room, eating great food, listening to these wonderful speakers talk about our future and their careers and where they saw us going. And I just felt so known by these people and connected with our shared education. It was cool.
Is my turn to roll?
Sure, we can probably do one more.
One more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, wow.
What did we
An
get?
18. I beat your 15.
Look at us. We're just climbing.
Gotta be a good one, right? Okay, let's see it.
Have you ever considered that life is a repetitive cycle of having kids, sending them to school, they get good grades, they go to high school, they get more good grades, they go to college, they have to get good grades so they can get a good job, so they can get married, so they can have kids, so they can send them to school, so they can get good grades? You ever thought about that?
Yes, I have thought of that. But I used to view it that way. Now it's different.
Ooh, Tell me how it's different.
It's different because I have kids now.
Okay. So you're a part of the cycle.
Yeah,
then.
I'm part of the cycle. Yeah.
The
So like,
life.
when it comes to that cycle, yeah. Honestly, yeah, we're in that. Yeah, it's a repetitive cycle.
Okay.
But I really like what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
My oldest kid, freaking smart.
Yeah, he is.
When I'm comparing myself with him, with my oldest, that kid is way smarter than I ever was school wise at his age.
Aww.
However, when it comes to street smarts, I could kick the crap out of him. And so,
well, yeah.
I was a bully.
Aww.
As a kid. I was a bully.
Aww.
And so my biggest fear is that my kids were going to be bullies. And so that cycleness, I was totally anticipating.
Like having to fight that portion of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And now that, I'm seeing my kid developing kind of differently, having his own like little spunky personality. And I'm like, ooh. Okay, this is...
Who's this guy?
Yeah. Yeah. And now that I have time to actually get to know my kids, very different.
Look at that. Look at that.
And seeing my my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter, like, they all have different personalities. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's gonna... Yeah, they're gonna go through that, same life cycle and everything. But the thing that I am looking forward to is just seeing what they'll do. Yeah. What are they going to do with their time? Mm-hmm. What are they going to learn?
What are they going to become?
What are they going to become?
What possibilities?
And so...
What are they going to create?
I have my theories.
What are they going to break?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know they're going to break everything.
That is so true.
But like, I'm excited to see what my oldest is going to do, because he and I share some of the same things, mm-hmm. and he also shares the same things as the wife, because that's where he gets it from.
Oh yeah.
And they're completely polar opposites.
Interesting. Interesting.
So a really, really great example. The wife is more arts oriented. She's an artist.
She is, and she's very talented.
Very talented.
Very, very talented.
And I am mathematics.
Yeah.
I'm
STEM.
like, I'm more STEM stuff. Yeah.
Numbers.
And in my schoolwork, mm-hmm. that's what you see excelling a lot more, is all the STEM fields. Yeah. With the wife's schoolwork, I mean, granted, mostly all A's and B's. Mine were like A's, B's. I mean,
she's a rock star.
Tried not to get C's. So. Yeah. And so like she was definitely up there.
She's a rock star.
And so, but her passion was the arts. Yeah. As well as like other landscapes that can tie into her artistic abilities. Passion. Exactly. Yeah. And my son has the best of both worlds.
Oh, that's lucky. Dang.
So he inherited my STEM side of things,
mm-hmm. That really clicks in his brain.
Yeah, and also all the stuff that I was not good at, that the wife's really good at.
Create things.
He loves, right now, he's drawing swords. And he cuts them out, and it's like a Legend of Zelda sword.
He's got a cute little legend, like little master sword.
And he makes his own like miniature shield out of paper as well. And so he goes like, and so he has the best of both worlds, mm-hmm. and I'm excited to see what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
And then, because he's gonna go through that cycle, or maybe what if he doesn't go through that cycle? What if he's a cycle breaker? Which whatever.
Yeah.
I'm more invested now in the details of the journey rather than the overall cycle.
The overall little circle. I like that.
So my perspective on that has definitely changed.
Cool.
Because it was definitely, and I think it changes for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, majority.
It can.
For a majority of people when they have children.
When they have kids, or they're in a different life stage.
Yeah. That allows them to see things, differently.
Like, okay, maybe this is a cycle. Is this a positive thing for me, or is this a negative thing for me? Does it matter? Can I make it a positive thing? Am I gonna perpetuate good cycles, bad cycles? Yeah, I agree. I think it definitely changes for people. I love that perspective on it too. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's my 2 cents.
So, in this mishmash of random questions, our topic was existentialism.
Existentialism.
Yeah, like the whole existential crisis, your place in the universe, and does it matter, does it not? Are we big, are we small? That's what all these questions are related to.
That's funny.
And look where we ended up. It's great.
Yeah.
Pretty good spot. Just make you think about things. Just remember that water cycle situation.
Yeah. I'm not.
This water.
I am so not.
That's okay. I'll think those weird thoughts.
Yeah, you can have those thoughts.
I do think weird thoughts about the world sometimes. Yeah. And then, tomorrow I'm going to be at work. I'm going to see that ant. And I'll be like, Juan, we talked about that ant. We talked about you, buddy. You're not so small. That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing some tea with me and some existential thoughts.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's always great to see you.
Aw, shucks. Well, thank you so much, guys. This is all we have time for, but we will talk at you later.